HOA Karen built a garage on my land, but she didn't expect this. Before I dive into this absolutely insane story, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment telling me where you're watching from. Your support helps keep these stories coming. Now let's get into it. After several months of working away from home, I was finally back and looking forward to some peace and quiet. But the moment I pulled into my driveway, something felt off. Then I saw it. A brand new garage standing right where my fence used to be, on my land. At first, I thought I had made some mistake. Maybe I was overtired. Maybe I was imagining things. But no, the garage was real, and so was the fact that my neighbor Karen had built it without my permission. She had torn down my fence, stolen part of my property, and put up an entire structure like she owned the place. I took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. Maybe this was just a misunderstanding. Maybe she had made a mistake. So I decided to do the rational thing. I went to talk to her. I knocked on her door, and when she opened it, she had that same smug look that all Karens seem to have when they think they're untouchable. "Karen, did you build a garage on my property?" She rolled her eyes. "It's not your property, it's mine. HOA rules allow it." I blinked. "That's not how property ownership works. I have legal documents that prove this land belongs to me." Karen crossed her arms, completely unfazed. "I don't care what some piece of paper says. The HOA approved this, so there's nothing you can do." She genuinely believed that an HOA could override property deeds and legal boundaries. That was when I realized this wasn't just a mistake. Karen knew exactly what she was doing, and she thought she could get away with it. Well, she had messed with the wrong person. The next morning, I woke up to even more chaos. Karen had hired workers to start installing a driveway leading straight from the street to her illegal garage on my land. I confronted her again. "Karen, this has gone too far. You need to take this garage down now before I take legal action." She laughed in my face. "Oh, please. What are you going to do? Sue me? Go ahead. You'll lose. I know my rights." She was daring me to take her to court. Challenge accepted. Before taking legal action, I decided to get the authorities involved. I called the police and explained the situation. When they arrived, I showed them my property documents, proving the land was legally mine. They spoke with Karen, but she was as arrogant as ever, insisting that the HOA had approved her project. The officers were not impressed. They warned her that property ownership was a legal matter, not an HOA decision, and advised her to remove the garage before it turned into a legal battle. Karen, of course, ignored them. That was the moment I knew it was time to take her to court. I gathered every single document proving my ownership, property deeds, land surveys, official records. I even consulted a lawyer to make sure I had everything in order. Then I did exactly what Karen thought I wouldn't do. I filed a lawsuit. When Karen got served with legal papers, her confidence cracked. She tried everything to stop me. Threats, "I'll sue you for harassment." Fake legal arguments. "The HOA has more authority than property laws." Manipulation. "If you take me to court, I'll make sure the whole neighborhood turns against you." None of it worked. And when we got to court, her entire defense fell apart. She stood there trying to argue that her garage was legal because the HOA approved it. The judge wasn't amused. "Miss Karen, HOA rules do not override state property laws. This land legally belongs to the plaintiff." The ruling was swift. Karen was ordered to demolish the garage. She had to cover the full cost of rebuilding my fence. And she was fined for illegally encroaching on private property. She had lost. A few weeks later, I stood on my lawn watching as workers tore down Karen's illegal garage piece by piece. Karen stood in her yard, arms crossed, watching her project crumble. She refused to look at me. And the fence? I made sure it was taller and sturdier than ever. Now, every time Karen walks past my property, I can see the bitterness in her eyes. She doesn't speak to me anymore, which honestly is the best part of this whole situation. She thought she could take what wasn't hers. She thought the rules didn't apply to her. She thought she could win. But in the end, justice was served. Hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more insane stories. See you in the next video.